fuck you kidding? Gambling what you giving. You can't multiply the profit by separating the vision. I meditate with precision through dedicated decisions. I'm medicated. The difference is elevated resistance. Tell me who the fuck you kidding? Overplay the victim. Feeding off the pie. Niggas never pay the difference. Hesitate to miss them.
All right, Akin, how are you?
Doing great. I'm doing fantastic. How are you? I'm
doing well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited to get to know you, get in your business a little bit.
I'm excited to be here too.
Awesome. So I just want to kind of start with, first and foremost, introduce yourself. Tell the world a little bit about who you are, why we're here today, to get the conversation going.
So I'm Akintoye. I am a 22-year-old rapper, just generally a hip hop artist based out of the Toronto area. I pride myself on being a lyricist. That's the word people use to describe it, is like a lyricist, but I don't even be saying that in everyday life. I like rapping, and I think it's so much fun.
Right.
I kind of use it as more of a lifeline. Like, it's more important to me in my everyday life than a lot of things are. I've been doing this since I was 10 years old. Got into it because one of my music teachers when I was in middle school had me do a little rap for one of those like end of the year middle school performances where they stand up and look all cute and like sing something. And then from that day, I was like, this is amazing. I need to be doing this.
Wow.
Yeah, and I built most of my following so far through TikTok, which has been super, super awesome.
Yeah. That's incredible. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Tell me a little bit about your family and what are their views on your success, especially coming out of TikTok, right? That's a little untraditional. So talk to me about what their thoughts are around what you do.
Yeah. So my family, so I was born in Nigeria. I moved to Canada in 2009. I was just before I turned 10 years old. Mm-hmm. My parents are very, very Nigerian. And anybody who's Nigerian or African in general knows that there's like, it's such a cliche. We always hear it's like, yo, either you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're an engineer.
Right.
Having to convince my parents, I was on trajectory to possibly be a lawyer, and having to convince my parents that this is the thing to do was a very, very difficult process. And it was a very long and grueling process. But I think I got lucky in the sense that my parents are they're very results driven.
Mm-hmm.
So they were able to see some tangible results from this thing that were like, oh, what do you think? Kind of just let me do whatever. Yeah, and it's to the point where I mean, growing up, it was a little harder to get them on board. I was juggling school and music and trying to get that situated. And I mean, if I lifted the whole family out of Nigeria and moved them to Canada for my have a better life, and he was like, yo, I want to be a rapper, I'd be like, yo, I'd be like, what are you talking about? Well, like, I get it.
You get it. So this year is Black History Month. TikTok is celebrating Black creators on their platform, including yourself. So tell me a little bit about how that feels. And you're someone who really speaks up for the Black community. You're very vocal about that in your music. And TikTok has been kind of notorious for not supporting Black creators, shadow banning Black creators on the platform. So now that they have taken on the stance of let's support Black creators during Black History Month, for someone like yourself who is vocal about that and also now is being kind of highlighted in this space, how does that feel for you? What are your thoughts around that?
When it comes to corporations and companies of a certain size, right? Typically it's very hard, especially social media platforms. Typically it's very hard to appease everybody. Mm-hmm. And we all know that TikTok has a very long way to go as far as, making sure that Black creators are represented in the way we need to be represented. I mean, it's a work in progress. It's a process. Sure. There's an end goal to get to. And TikTok, I don't believe TikTok's hit that goal yet, but this is a very good step in the process of getting to where everything is great. Ideally, being selected and being highlighted for me just means that now I'm in a position where a lot of people are going to look at me, and a lot of people are going to look at me in different ways. One way that people are going to look at me is as a token. That's unavoidable. Being a Black man is celebrated by a platform. You are going to be to a certain extent. But at the same time, the flip side of that is people looking at me and going, okay, so he can do it from his bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
maybe I could probably do it too. Like maybe this is a space that I'd be able to prosper and get to where I want to get to. So kind of a two-sided situation. But I'm happy to be on the list, grateful for the opportunity, grateful for the looks. And I really just want to use it as a springboard to push off and do more awesome things that I really, really want to do.
I love that. And I don't want to leave the TikTok conversation without talking about the bonnet. The bonnet. You have to tell us, how did that come about? How did you come up with that idea?
Oh, so funny enough, I feel like a lot of people think it was like some marketing strategy or it was like some deliberate. Like when I tell you that everything I posted is just me waking up and being like, I'm gonna do this. So there was a stretch last year, right around the summertime, where left college, you know what I mean, just finished up school, came back to my parents' house, and I was like, all right, I'm a musician now. But I had no money and I was living in my parents' crib. And I was like, I kind of don't have things to do. It's still a pandemic. I can't really be outside like that. I was like, I'm going to make a video every day. So I just woke up and the way I live is sort of in this space that you see me in. This is the same space I record my videos in, just like at this desk with this mic setup. And I literally wake up, write raps, come over here, record them, edit them, chop them up, record the video, write more raps, and go. That is my day every day. It's pretty much been like that for the better part of the last year. So the bonnet was literally just, it was a pandemic and I couldn't get a haircut because all the barbershops were closed. And then my mom came in and was like, I had waves before the pandemic. Like I had waves. And my mom was like, look, like you gotta get this situated. Here's a bonnet. She just threw me one. And I was like, okay. So I put it on. And the reason that I wear it in the videos is because I literally wake up with the bonnet on and just come over and start recording. And then I go take a shower, put the bonnet back on, go back to bed. And that was pretty much my like every day.
Wow. What's the feedback been with that? Have people been rocking with it? Or are they just kind of like, you know, like judging you or highly critical around that?
So it's kind of a mixed bag, but like I was saying before, I'm a very stubborn person. So like I got a lot of love for it, and people were like, I love the fact that people love the fact that I'm able to come on here and just be myself and not care what anybody has to say. There's also a lot of people that, and I mean, this is like, I mean, let's keep it 100. If you're as a Black man towing that line of perceived femininity and masculinity, is a very very to toe. So the opposite side of that, where I'm getting pushed back and dudes are like, what you doing? You looking like somebody auntie. You thinking this and you da-da-da-da. It's like, and I look at it and I'm like, all right, like I get it. Like I see where you're coming from. You're very, very old-timey in your mindset. And that's something that they got to shake and they got to figure out in their lives. I refuse to let what they got going on dictate how I got to live my life.
Yes.
Any dude who's angry that I'm wearing a bonnet, sounds like he got some other stuff he got to figure out in his life.
Exactly. Nothing else to do but troll. So in terms of that though, because you talked about your process, you talked about you get up, you sit down, you write your lyrics, you record your videos, and you kind of do it every day. And so, and then you put your work out there to be critiqued, to be judged. And a lot of people like it, majority of people like it, but then you have a handful of people who may not, take to it. How do you take care of your mental health during this, especially in the middle of a pandemic? It's 2022. We're still in a pandemic though. And so how do you take care of your mental health with all of that attention that you're getting and having to, I guess, feel like you are continuing that standard that you set for yourself?
So my mental health is a mess, but not because of that. I deal with a whole lot of anxiety and it's really, really bad some days. And I've been able to sort of figure out a balance. Like I was saying before, writing and rapping is very therapeutic for me. Yeah. So even in the process of making this art to then be released, to be critiqued, there's a healing element to it for myself. Wow. There's a lot of things going on in my head and I have a really hard time organizing the things happening in my head. And the only way I'm really able to make sense of things is when I am able to put them somewhere where I can read them. So there is like that therapeutic element in even this creative process for me. But as an artist putting your work out to be critiqued, there's sort of a couple stages you got to go through of like, all right, now I'm ready to do it at whatever the highest level may be and take whatever may come. And I feel like I was lucky enough to have gone through those stages very early on before anybody knew who I was. When you're getting into music and you're getting it situated and you're trying to do something different, and I wasn't into the whole, singing on trap beats and trying to sound like everybody else. That was never my thing. And early on, I faced a lot of pushback from people that I knew personally, just being like, I don't want to listen to this. This is bad. This is whack. This is terrible. I've heard everything in the book. So by the time I got to TikTok and I put it out, and there's, most people are like, this is awesome. But then there's a handful of people like, this is whack. This is so like whatever. I'm able to put it in my brain and understand that, oh, all right, they just don't like it. People are going to say what they're going to say. And anybody who's really angry over me doing something I want to do, it's just like, hey, bro, you got some stuff to figure out. That ain't got
exactly. And you recently dropped, not too long ago, your newest drop, Respectfully.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, that song is really, really powerful. It's really strong, a bit cynical. I want to know, what was your inspiration or influence around that song? Talk to us about what are you saying? Talk to us about that record.
So I wear my heart on my sleeve a lot. Yeah. If I feel a certain type of way about something, most likely I'm going to say it. I just, certain things I can't hold inside of me and just let them sit there.
Yeah.
When it comes to Respectfully, I actually posted a video about it, and a lot of people go and make videos and it's like, here's this scenario that happened, but like they make the scenario up. My manager was genuinely told by a label person, yeah, he's not a good writer. He's not very good. Not very good. He's just, there's nothing interesting here. Pretty much just, downplaying my actual skill set and my ability. Like there's nothing here really. And at that point I was like, okay, so I could go a couple of different ways. And I'm a very petty person. So I was like, I could either go like the 6-part TikTok series where I slander somebody, or, I could package it in a nice way and get these emotions across, and make my message concise and clear and tight and to the point. And my manager actually pushed me in the direction of, hey, like, yo, just put out a song as opposed to doing what I was gonna do. So it was sort of the message in the song is one to the individual who said that, but also it's sort of a weird thing to see how everybody else sort of relates.
Yeah.
And we're in a weird space where anybody from anywhere in the world can tell you that you're never going to make it. You're not good at this. They could just share their opinions on you. And I think there's nothing wrong with every now and then being able to look at somebody and be like, yo, respectfully, like, I don't want to hear nothing that you got to say. Like,
I want to know, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is the goal for Akin as an artist?
5 years from now, the goal is to be doing it at the highest level that I could possibly do it at. I always say the main goal is to make the best possible music I could make. So between now and 5 years from now, I even look at the music we made a year ago, and I look at the music we're making now, and this next project I'm working on that I haven't necessarily announced the details of. But I look at all this stuff and I realize that there's such a high level that I could really take it to. So 5 years ago, I really see myself doing it at a 5 times greater level than I'm doing it right now.
Right.
Making grandiose music, making these great concept projects and shifting the sort of the landscape as much as I could shift it. We're in a weird stage where hip hop's very, very vulnerable and hip hop's in a very malleable state. And I would ideally in 5 years be one of the people who twist it into what I want it to be and where I think it could go. So 5 years from now, I see myself doing it bigger than I could ever think of possibly doing.
Absolutely. You're definitely on your way. And tell us what you're working on. So that's 5 years from now. I know our fans are like, 5 years from now, your fans are probably like, what are you doing now? What are you doing in the next week, couple months? What's happening? What are you working on?
So I will say in the next couple of weeks, there is something coming in the next couple of weeks.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that. And then over the course of the next few months, there's something very, very big in the work, something that I put a whole lot of time, a whole lot of hours into. Over the course of the last few months, I dropped my last album in July, like right at July, and immediately when I finished that project, went straight into the working on this next thing that I'm working on.
Nice.
This is months and months and months of work and preparation and pouring my heart out and making a whole lot of different things and trial and error and figuring stuff out that is on the way.
Yes.
So next couple weeks, there's something coming, but also over the next couple months, there's something else coming.
Yes, we love to hear that. Well, thank you so much, Akin. It has been a pleasure to get to know you. I'm so excited for what's to come for you. I'm super talented. Just keep going. Keep going.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely.